What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the next episode of Talk Smack with Mac. I'm here with a really good friend of mine, Hieu. He's a martial artist, man, a hard worker. I've worked out with this dude for years. He busts his ass, and he is always the hardest worker in the room. I'm pretty excited to get this conversation going. How you been, man?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Good.
So how's everything going? I know you train a lot. You do a lot of MMA, different types of training. How is the coronavirus affecting your training?
Well, we didn't train for like 2.5 months, or when the whole shutdown went down. So we didn't do really anything. I did more training on my stomach, gaining weight than anything else. So, yeah.
Oh, what training do you do?
I do jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
You know, mainly I focus on jiu-jitsu right now. Just trying to rank up. You know, get ready for the tournament to come up.
Oh, you got a tournament when?
We don't know yet, you know, because everything is still fragile right now. Yeah. But we're just training, you know, just getting everything back, you know.
Yeah, trying to get back, knock off the rust, all that good stuff.
Just get the groove back, just to be back on the mat, you know. But nothing crazy, you know. We're just kind of taking everything lightly right now. So,
yeah, with Governor Sisolak passing a law saying that we got to wear the mask outside all times. How does that interfere or interact with your training?
So we spray down everything, the mat and all that stuff. We don't really, you know, contact. We do more of like a fitness thing.
Okay. So going through the movements.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, practice on dummies and not really contacting each other.
Okay. Is that gonna be in effect for the foreseeable future, or is that just gonna change whenever things start to change in the world?
Yeah, I think we just gotta ride with it and see what's going on. You know, I mean, we don't want to get fined or something like that. You know?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Especially on my coach, you know, it's hard on him.
I can imagine.
So we try to support him as much as we can. You know, yeah, man, it's different. I tell you that. I never thought I would experience something like that in my lifetime. You know?
Yeah, it's weird to say the least.
Yeah.
You know, gotta wear masks everywhere. You know, getting too close to contact is kind of weird. Kind of, if you don't really know the person, I feel a little weird getting too close. Like, yeah, back off me a little bit.
Yeah, I just didn't. This whole thing is crazy. You know, I mean, it is what it is. We just gotta ride with it. You know, there's nothing really we can do.
Yeah, just gotta adapt and overcome. That's all.
Yeah.
Roll with the punches, right?
Yeah.
So, jiu-jitsu, man, can you explain that to me and the audience a little bit more? What exactly jiu-jitsu is? What type of movements?
Jiu-jitsu is it's a lot of, you know, it comes from Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You know, with the Hawaiian Gracies, Hieu. You know, that family is the most you know, profound family in martial arts. You know. It's more of leverage, you know, so it's not about size. Because if you see, you know, Hieu, he's not the biggest guy in the room, but he'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's leverage, you know. A lot of people watch UFC and the best part for me is when, you know, you go to a bar, like UFC days, and you watch and the guys think, oh, you should do this, oh, you should do that. It's funny, but once you get on the mat, you start rolling with people, you kind of...
It's completely
different. A little different, you know, because the guy's got 60 pounds over you, 50 pounds over you. It's leverage, but if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to be hard.
Especially for guys like us, we're smaller people.
Exactly.
So, you know, we got to work that much harder. But jiu-jitsu, you know, when I think of jiu-jitsu, I just think of Royce Gracie and, you know, the first UFCs. He pretty much just pulled guard right away and was like, come on, make a mistake and I'm going to choke you out.
Yeah. Hieu Gracie, he went with, I think it was Akibono, one of those, what do you call those guys? Those sumo wrestlers. So he fought him and he beat him.
That's impressive, man.
He's like 200 pounds over that guy.
Yeah.
So I think he went for a heel lock or something. And he submitted him. So, you know, he proven time over time, doesn't matter what size you are, how tall, how short you are, it's technique.
Technique is everything. Size does play a little bit of
it does.
a little bit of a role.
It does, but when you get to that high level, it doesn't really matter.
Because you're so confident.
Oh yeah. Especially if so, it'll be different if me and you were 200 pounds, right? And I was a black belt, you was a black belt. Now it's gonna be a little different because you know how to mitigate all that problem. You know what I mean? You know what my next moves are.
Yeah.
You know how to use your leverage, your weight. So
what to expect. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I feel like a lot of that is staying calm. When people are smothering you, they're on top of you, they're throwing elbows, they're throwing hammer fists. You gotta stay calm.
Yeah.
Remain calm and know what your training is, know what you're working towards. I just watched Anderson Silva and the Sonnen fight. You remember that fight?
Put him in a
Sonnen beat the shit out of Anderson Silva the entire fight. And then at the very end, Anderson Silva, choked him out, man. So it was, or made him tap, was going to break his arm. And that's impressive to me. I remember, I was just sitting there watching Silva. I literally watched the fight, I think it was 2 days ago. And that was when Anderson Silva was going through UFC, was tearing everybody's ass up. And his son tucked all that shit. And he backed it up. I don't care if he lost or if he won, he backed it up. He brought it to Silva, who was just undeniably the hands down the best at the time. But even though Silva was getting his ass kicked the whole time, he kept his composure. And I was like, man, that's a real martial artist right there. That dude is getting stomped out, punched on the ground. His head was bouncing off the canvas. And he was just, I didn't even see him open his mouth. He was breathing through his nose the whole time.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
So in addition to jiu-jitsu, do you do anything else? Maybe not currently, but in the past?
I do Muay Thai. So I've practiced and trained in Muay Thai, like how I was teaching you at the bags and stuff like that. Nothing crazy. I don't have any fights or anything like that, but I do it for, just train.
It's fun.
Yeah, I love it, We do have classes also at Tribe. We have teachers there, they all teach Muay Thai over there. And I'm waiting until I stripe up, get to where I want with my jiu-jitsu, and then I'm going to jump back into Muay Thai, so I can put all that together.
What's your rank right now in jiu-jitsu?
I'm a white belt still, now I'm really getting back into it. I'm trying to stripe up into my first stripe.
Okay. How long have you been going at the jiu-jitsu for, minus the 3-month period that you didn't do it because of Corona?
With a bunch of buddies of mine, they used to train. They still going at it. The twins in Hawaii, they're pretty crazy. They've been winning a lot of tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm really getting deep into it. I've found that passion again to really get into it and just train. So I've been training 2 days, twice a day.
Yeah.
So
I can imagine when you get focused on training or working out, you really get after it.
Yeah.
That's why I always enjoy working out with you, because I know I'm okay, I'm going to go hard, and I know he's going to go hard, but you could push me even, because you may be small, but you're strong as fuck. So
I always looked at it. I've always been athletic in my life, except for when I was really young, but I always played basketball and sports and stuff like that, But in Hawaii, you always fight on the street, so you always got that dog mentality where, you know how it is, man. You live in Hawaii for a little bit.
Even before I lived in Hawaii, I've always had my Hawaiian friends and my Samoan friends that came from Hawaii. And yeah, man, Hawaiians, they just like to fight. It's fun. Sometimes you don't have the most money, so what can you do for free? Hey, let's throw them hands.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some.
But it's fun no matter what. And then boys in Hawaii, when I was living there, they were always throwing them hands. Yeah. Always talking shit, but they'll throw their hands, and then afterwards it'll be fine.
Go drink a beer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So speaking of Hawaiian fighters, do you have any particular Hawaiian fighters that you like? Max Holloway is obviously a easy guy to pick, but
Chancey is coming up also. He trains with Max. He's Max's training partner. I think he has a lot of potential, but there's
Is he the dude that fought? I think it was the younger guy. I forget his name. I really like him, man. The curly hair guy. Chancey. Do you know what gym he trains at?
What is his name? The black guy, right? Didn't he fight with something Lee?
Kevin Lee.
Kevin Lee.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
I'm pretty sure.
Forgot. But he fought recently. I think it was recent. And I'm pretty impressed with him. You know, he's got like a Max Holloway vibe also. They're down to scrap.
Yeah, they just keep pushing forward, kind of like a Nate Diaz or the Diaz brothers.
Yeah.
They just keep coming forward, throwing them hands.
Yeah.
The thing that I like about Max Holloway, I watched the interview in the beginning of his career. He said he learned how to throw combos by playing video games. He was like, man, I just played the video games and I tried different combos on there, and if it works, I try it in real life. And he was a UFC champion, so that's pretty badass.
Well,
man.
he's got that I don't give a shit attitude. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna try it, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, and those guys are dangerous. You know, when those guys are coming in, they're like, oh well, I'm gonna try this.
Yeah.
If it works.
Hey, you know, one thing about Max Holloway is win or lose or draw, man, he's always a professional.
Yeah.
He always shows respect.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, if I lose, it wasn't my day today.
Yeah.
I'll get better. I'll come back. So I got mad respect for Max Holloway, man. I really like him. I like his vibe.
Yeah, I like that too. You know, I think he's setting a good example for his kid. You know, his kid's in his life a lot. You know, he sets a really good example of, you know, not just a fighter, you know what I mean? That kind of teaches his kids how to live, you know, as a person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I feel like that's the other side of martial arts.
Yeah.
They teach you got to keep your composure, how to remain calm, patience.
Right.
You know, so that could definitely transition to your personal life for sure.
Yeah. It's like, so you know who Mike Perry is, right?
Yes.
So speaking of that, Mike Perry, today actually he's fighting and he fired all his coaches and he's having his girlfriend corner him.
Today?
Yeah. Today.
Oh, I gotta watch it.
Oh,
I just want to see that.
Yeah. So I don't know if his girlfriend has any backgrounds in, you know, fighting or any athletic thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about his girlfriend, you know, but I just know that I heard he fired his coaches and it's just his girlfriend in his corner.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna check that one out. I want to see the dynamic. Does he have a cut man too, or did he fire his cut man?
Oh no, cut mans are always is provided. It's just your coaches and your corner people that's gonna be there for you.
Speaking of the corner people, there was a recent fight. I forget the dude's name.
They quit.
Yeah, he quit. He was like, "Hey man, I'm done. I'm out of it." How do you feel that? How do you feel his coaches did? Were they too aggressive in trying to talk him back into it? I know sometimes, man, when you get punched in the face, your mindset is going to change a little bit. Sometimes you need that motivation from your corner, but I feel like there's a line that you can't cross because as a fighter, if you're getting your ass kicked and you're mentally out of it, you're going to get hurt. So do you think their corner did the right thing by trying to motivate him?
Well, so you got to watch the fight, right? You have to watch his whole fight in order to make any kind of say or judgment, right?
Yeah, because they're like, just finish so you can get the W.
Right. And you also have to have experience in somewhat of fighting or any kind of martial arts, right? So to me, I think the cornerman wasn't in the wrong. You know what I mean? They know their fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they thought he can push it, but he's just giving up on himself. Because a lot of us, like, once you get punched in the face, you had a game plan.
Yeah, and then that shit went all out the window.
You know what I mean? Once somebody punches you in the face or try to strangle you, you're done.
Yeah.
Right? So you kind of sometimes need that motivation. Like when me and you work out, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're working out. You want to give up. I want to give up. But I look at you like, Levi, you better fucking pick that shit up.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, right? You want to give up, right? You might not believe in yourself, but your coach believes in you. And that's what you need sometimes.
Exactly.
Now, if you were getting beat the shit out of you and your coach say, get your ass back in there and fight.
Yeah, that'd be different.
That's wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the guy wasn't getting beat up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He was getting outclassed.
Yeah.
Correct. But he wasn't getting beat the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And the coach thought, you know, hey, you got more in you. Let's go, champ.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't think the coach wasn't wrong. That's just my opinion. You know, me and my coach discussed that, right? And I was like, you know what? If we ever had a jiu-jitsu tournament, because you go more than one person in a day, right? So maybe my fourth person, I'm tired. I don't want to go back out there. You know, I told my coach, hey, you know what? Slap me if I ever tell you that. You know, just knowing me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna want to not do it, but I do
But
want
you
to do
can.
it.
Yeah,
and
you
I
can.
know I can.
Mhm.
I just need a coach or somebody to look at me and say, get the fuck in there
Yeah.
and let's go. All right, let's go.
That extra push.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it.
So, good example, like Amanda Nunes, right? She just fought, and she was fighting. I forgot what her name was. But when they were in that fight, she was getting outclassed. Amanda Nunes was just putting it on her.
Her most recent fight.
Exactly.
And that chick was a two black belt in two different martial arts. So it's not like she was a scrub.
No, but see, in that fight, you know, when the coach looked at her, oh, okay, this is enough. You call it. Let's call it. You know, but it was up to her. You know what I mean? I mean, you just gotta look at the fight and see how outclassed he's getting and how much beating he's getting.
Yeah.
You know, if he's getting tore up out there, man, call it. You
Yeah.
know, some fight, even it's in that case where it's like some fighters are too hard-headed for themselves.
Exactly.
They don't want to quit. They tell you don't fucking throw in that towel, but you want to because they're getting beat up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you gotta kind of watch the fight. And coach knows you best. You know,
he's the one that spends time with you all day long.
He knows
when you quit, knows when you can't go anymore, and he knows when you have a little bit more left in you. So I 100% agree with you. Your coach is that person, that lifeline.
Yeah.
Hey man, I need help. All right, let's get it together. Come on, you got this.
Yeah.
Go hard. Push. Like you said earlier about us working together. That's how you got to do it sometimes.
Yeah.
This shit is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
The average person that has never done this before, they could talk all the shit they want, but you get punched in the face by a professional 75 times and see if you want to keep going.
Yeah.
I feel like anybody that shows any type of disrespect or talks any type of shit against people at this level, they need to go fuck themselves because, like you said, you have a game plan till you get punched in the face. Yeah. You know, I watch a lot of UFC, you know, I watch every fight, and I follow a lot of MMA, you know, and you can sometimes, it doesn't bother me because I read the comments, I just want to see what people say. Yeah. You know, or what I hear at the bar and stuff like that. It's like, people don't train and they don't understand it, you know, because, man, on the mat, I have like, when I go at the 345 classes, like all advanced class, right? Mm-hmm. And so we'll be doing like a couple of techniques and stuff like that. And it's just open mat. And I'm fucking going against blue belts, brown belts, and black belts, right? And they're 40, 50 pounds over me. And you get in there, you got a game plan. I'm gonna take this guy's leg. No, man. It don't work like what you're dreaming in your head, you know what I mean? So once you're shooting for that leg, that guy's like grabbing you by the neck and sprawling, pushing you down. You know, it's crazy, and people are like, oh, he should have done that. Oh, he should have done that. Like, dude, let me try to wrestle you and you try to do something. You know what I mean? And it's fun. You know, you hear that. Everybody has their opinion, and it's cool. You know. But that's the beauty of being a fan is that you do get that opinion, whether your opinion is, you know, a bit asinine or you're coming off as an asshole. Or if your opinion is in, you know, showing love for the fighters at that time, you still get your opinion. Right, because you pay for it. So, hey, you know, we live in America, right? So you're open to your opinion, and that's what makes you a fan, though. Yeah. You know, I mean, love or hate it, you don't like their comment or whatever, but that's what makes them a fan. You know, it's like Floyd Mayweather. Smartest businessman ever. Sports businessman. Yeah. You know what I mean? Hate alone, dude. The guy made millions on you hating him. I think he made like close to $800-900 million. You know what I mean? I think he's the best of all time. That's just my opinion, you know. But it's because he just doesn't get hit. No. If you do not get hit, and not to mention that he's a sharpshooter. He'll make you miss from anywhere, and then he's, you know what I'm saying, jumping back and cocking that two back. Two, roll, get out of there.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather is amazing.
Well, you box, so you have training in boxing, so you understand that.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's hard. It's hard to be on, unbalanced and still be able to get punches off. Speaking of being unbalanced, so I was thinking, who do you think is the greatest striker of all time? So in my mind, I was thinking Anderson Silva, and this is across boxing and MMA.
Okay.
Anderson Silva, Jone Jones, and Manny Pacquiao.
Man, so when we say that across the board, it's hard to say because MMA boxing is totally different.
Totally different, yeah.
You know, you can have a game plan of being a boxer like Manny Pacquiao, coming into boxing, even if with no leg strikes, right? Setting it up is a little bit different because you have to deal with a lot of different things in MMA, right? You gotta watch for the shoot, watch for the leg kicks. Boxing, all you have to worry is just upper. For me, Manny is pretty up there, man. You know what I mean? Of his whole career, he's just like Floyd. One of the greatest of all time. In that weight division. I said Muhammad Ali. You watch him, the way he moves, the way he throws it.
The reason why I think Manny Pacquiao is because I've never seen any other fighter be able to get off as many punches as he can unbalanced. It doesn't matter how his feet are. Triple G is nasty, yeah.
He's nice.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite, honestly. Like,
I don't think he can throw punches like Pacquiao. Pacquiao comes in running forward with the 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, lean to the right, get his left off, roll under, hit him like 3 more times, and it seems like his head is constantly moving.
He's throws nasty combos,
and he's just from all over the place.
Yes,
and it's weird. I feel like it's very hard to calculate Pacquiao. But with that being said, watching Jone Jones is like poetry. I've never seen anybody that could throw all their limbs perfectly. He could be sitting there unbalanced and get a left kick off and then a right overhand and then throw an elbow in there, come in with the knee to the clinch. Jone Jones is an amazing striker, and he's not even known for his striking. He didn't even start striking, like really taking it serious until he was in UFC for a few years. He came in, he was like 20, 21 when he was in the UFC. He didn't even start being known as a striker until he was in his mid-20s.
So would you say he's the GOAT then of MMA?
So I was just talking about the Mount Rushmore of UFC/MMA.
Okay.
My personal Mount Rushmore would be Jone Jones, Anderson Silva, Chuck Liddell, and Amanda Nunes. That's who I think is either contributed to the sport the most. Chuck Liddell had UFC on his back for a good period of time. And that's the only person people talked about. It was Chuck Liddell, Chuck Liddell, Chuck Liddell. Oh, did you see the knockout from Chuck Liddell? So he has to be up there. I wanted to put Royce in the Mount Rushmore, but I feel like Anderson Silva dominated for what was that, like 4 or 5 years, where he just maybe even 6 years.
Yeah.
Where he just destroyed everybody. It wasn't like, oh, he won a few fights or, he won in decisions. No, he was just outclassing everybody in every which way, submitting, knocking them out, taking them 5 rounds and just beating the shit out of them for every round. And then Amanda Nunes, nobody even wants to fight her because she's so dominant. She just fought the chick in her last fight. I forget her name. But that other girl was a black belt in 2 different martial arts. And Amanda Nunes just beat the living shit out of her. And then Jone Jones, of course, if Jone Jones would get his head out of his ass and actually focus on fighting, he's just going to keep winning.
That's what makes him so great, is because he is wild. If you look at all of the athletes and all the crazy motherfuckers, But great motherfuckers.
Yeah, they got a little. Yeah, they're a little twisted up there for sure.
They don't give a shit. You know what I mean? And as it's their life. You know, for me, mine would be I would you know I would even put Amanda Nunes first.
First.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. And then I'd put DJ Demetrius Johnson.
I love Demetrius Johnson, but the fact that he left the UFC, he went to his boys' organization,
And still dominated.
Yeah.
So
well, actually, I believe his first fight over there, he barely won, right?
No, he won all his fight. He has the belt right.
I know that, but I'm saying I think it was just his first fight. He didn't dominate the way I thought he was going to, but DJ is a monster, man.
Tuning in, you know what I mean? But after that, he was working, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would say DJ. I would man, it's hard, you know, because you gotta think of their time and now. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, Anderson Silva days and didn't have the training or didn't train the way guys train now.
Yeah, days,
you know,
guys these days are
the talent
5 different martial arts and being well-rounded. They're wrestling, they're boxing, they're kickboxing, they have jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, judo.
They're learning all that craft
mm-hmm.
in one. I think because Amanda Nunes now, right? So she comes in, she beats all the legends, right? Ronda Rousey, Holly Holmes, Chris Cyborg. Okay.
All right.
So
you can't even go past saying Chris Cyborg without talking about that fight a little bit. Chris Cyborg, she is terrifying.
So
she's a terrifying individual. And
I would be scared to fight her.
Man,
you know,
and if you're terrified to fight her, what does that say about Nunes?
Exactly.
Because she beat the shit out of Cyborg, and she just took it straight to her with hands too. She was like, "What's up?"
Yeah. You know what I mean? That's how evolved, you know, a woman like Amanda Nunes is.
Mm-hmm.
You know? For a man like me to say, dang, I would think twice about fighting that girl. You know what I mean? And it's not about that anymore. You know,
mm-hmm.
you can't look at an individual and be like, oh man, that's a woman.
Oh, she's
hell, beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, there is no straight up. There is no he's a man, she's a woman type thing when it comes to professional fighters.
Right.
Because every single woman, either in the Contender Series and Strikeforce and UFC,
right.
I don't want to fight them.
Yeah,
they'll beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I give all of these women all their props because you know what? I feel like women have more to prove.
Yeah.
So they're in there just fucking throwing those things, trying to show out because strong, they gotta put on a performance in order to stand above the guys.
Right. So you see, this is why I put Amanda Nunes first, right? It's because she's still the double champ,
mm-hmm.
still defending, right? So she's beat all these legends. The reason why I put her on top is because she's still a two times champion, two mm-hmm. different weight classes,
mm-hmm.
still defending.
And nobody wants to fight her in either one.
No. Jone Jones, he's great. Yes, he's the youngest champion. He's, you know, the most technical fighter, but he's never won 2 belts.
He's trying.
But I think until he does, mm-hmm. then he can say, I'm the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
You know, so DJ, yes, he's a smaller weight class, doesn't make money that much as like at least all these heavier weights, right? Like Daniel Cormier, he's even in the picture for me. Mm-hmm. You know, I would put him even after Jone Jones. You know,
would you put Stipe above Cormier? Or was it just like, all right, Cormier had, you know, an off day against Stipe.
Okay, so I wouldn't even put Stipe up there, honestly, because for what Daniel has accomplished, gold medalist, mm-hmm. 2 times world champion, right? The only person he's lost to,
Jone Jones and Stipe.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I put Jone Jones before Daniel. But if you look on paper, right, Daniel is...
He's a decorated fighter, man.
A decorated fighter.
Yeah.
So I would even put him before Jone Jones. And I know I'm going to get a lot of slack for this, right? But I honestly say Daniel has accomplished more. Just because could Jon Jones do it? Yeah, I totally think he could win 2 belts. But a lot of things, his personal life is stopping him from that.
Mhm.
So when that stops him, it's like you gotta look at the accomplishment, right? So Daniel's a gold medalist, right? 2 times world champion, different weight classes. So unless if somebody has a better criteria than that,
Yeah, anybody that could go different weight classes and be the best,
right?
That's mad props, man. That shit is not easy.
Even Henry Cejudo, he's even up in there.
Do you think he's gonna stay retired?
Maybe, yeah. If I think so, he's made enough money, and these guys never stay retired.
They don't.
Fighters never stay retired.
If they always get that itch.
Yeah, they get that itch, and you talk to them at the right time and show them the right money. They're like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Look how many times BJ Penn quit. He's always, but BJ Penn's a natural fighter. That's the difference, right? He fight anybody. He fights security guards.
Yeah, I was gonna say he'll fight people in the octagon, in the street. He doesn't give a fuck where it's at.
He's a scrapper, dude. Yeah. So it's different mentality, right? Like again, the Hawaii boys, right? Max Holloway, scrappers. They just fight, But I would go with Amanda Nunes, I would go with DJ, I'd go with Daniel Cormier, and then Jon Jones, Anderson Silva, those guys, yet they were great, right? They were champions for a very long time.
But once they got exposed, it was kind of like,
that's
how you beat them.
It was a different kind of, the sport's still young, but it's advanced so much. Everybody's techniques, everybody's training is so different from 10 years ago.
It's diverse. It's
technology.
Like they got judo training in the morning, then they're gonna jump over to kickboxing in the afternoon, and before they go to sleep, they're gonna hit the Muay Thai. Then they're gonna hit the pads for a little bit after that, and then tomorrow they got 3 different martial arts they're doing.
Exactly.
So it's scary, and that's why I put 3 of my 4 people on my Mount Rushmore current fighters.
Yeah.
Current fighters or very close to current fighters.
Correct.
Because it's just the talent level is way, way higher now.
Yeah.
Now that's not to say that the greats of the past wouldn't be greats today.
No.
But it's just the competition today is so much more fierce.
Right.
That you gotta give these guys, the current fighters, more respect.
Right. Until somebody's accomplished more than what they've done.
Yeah.
Right. So I've looked at the past too. And Anderson Silva accomplished a lot, right? For what he did in that era of time.
Mm-hmm.
But now, like Amanda Nunes, going back to her, right? For her time in our fighting life, she's accomplished so much more with the talent pool that's building.
Mm-hmm. The fact that she has the belt in 2 weight classes, the talent's there. There's so many great fighters, and still nobody wants to fight her.
Right.
Yeah, man.
That's why
she's the greatest.
That's why I put her on top. And a lot of people are like, nah. I'm like, why? Because she's a woman? Nah, come on, dude. Look at her accomplishment, dude. Tell me you would get in the ring with her and tell her that she's not who she is.
I think she can get in that weight class in the men's division and compete for a belt too.
I'm pretty sure she could at 125, but I don't think she could cut that
weight. Let me check this damn camera. Hey, we're going
good.
Cool. I'll chop it all up and put it all together. I'm still learning how to do all that, but
it's good.
Hell yeah. All right, so you're a big DC fan.
I am.
DC is getting that trilogy fight with Stipe coming up in August.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that? I didn't think it was going to happen.
Stipe is making a lot of excuses. To me, just to me, my opinion, right or wrong. Yeah, he's a fireman and he has his duties, I think he's doing that just to get back at DC because DC made him wait.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's the waiting game, right? And you're the champ, you make that call, right? And now he's saying the ring is too small. He doesn't want to fight that ring, because now it's a 26-foot ring from a 30-foot ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Daniel should have won, honestly, that rematch anyways, but he got sloppy. Well, not sloppy, I shouldn't say that. You know, his back was hurt, so he couldn't wrestle. That's why he wasn't wrestling.
Okay.
You know, that's what he was saying. Because, you know, out of surgery, he had back surgery, 8 months into it. He fought at 6 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or 8 months, right? 6 months out of surgery, fought at 8 months. That's not a very long time to heal your back.
Definitely not.
But he was beating him in striking.
Man, the clinch.
All 4 rounds.
Yeah. DC's clinch game is amazing. He just, and the fact that DC just kept walking in with his hands down.
Yeah.
I mean, Stipe is no slouch. He could fucking knock some people out.
Yeah.
And DC's like, fuck it, let's go. Yeah. And they came in, get the hand wrestling game, and then just pop off some elbows.
Yeah.
DC's amazing, man. We just got the UFC, was it like UFC Fight Card or whatever it is, the app where you could watch the history of the fights.
Okay.
So we just got that. And I'm going to go back and watch a lot of DC fights so I can actually learn and see how great of a fighter he is. Because, of course, he's an amazing wrestler. Of course, he's an Olympic gold medalist. But I feel like his striking is low-key underrated.
Dude, it's really underrated.
Yeah.
You know, if he could have won that, honestly, if his wrestling was there for him, you know, he could have easily taken Stipe down. You know, they were all in the clinch. You know, they were tired, and he just got hit with some jabs, you know, into the ribs. You know, body shots hurt, man. I said DC could have won that. All in all.
Oh, you said the body shots hurt.
Body shots hurts, man. And especially when you're tired like that.
And Stipe found that perfect spot. He came in. It was like he didn't even give a fuck. He just dropped down through the left hook. And then he was like, he's seen DC's reaction.
Yeah.
He was like, ooh, okay. Feint with the 2, throw the left hook.
And that wasn't no tap either. He was banging his ribs.
Yeah.
Man.
It may look like it wasn't that bad to the casual fan.
Dude.
But until you feel it.
Anything that way, once you know, your liver, once you get hit in that area, dude, when it shuts down, it shuts everything down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Your legs go, everything goes. That's why you see a lot of guys who give body shots. Jose Aldo, I forgot who he fought. Dude, he planted that right hook. I forgot it was a right or a left hook right to that liver. Pop! Went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
He went down. Like literally, you know, his mind was still there, but his leg gave out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was some crazy shit, just like Demetrius Johnson, Henry Cejudo's first fight. He kept kneeing him to the body, dropped. You know,
I think knees to the body are beautiful.
Nasty, man.
That's Jone Jones does it amazing before he even engages in a clinch. As he's coming, it's like he practiced. Yeah. Before you engage in the clinch, throw the knee to the body, and that will give you that'll close the distance for you to get in the clinch.
You know who's the most beautiful one? The beautiful fight that you want to see body? It's Rich Franklin and Anderson Silva. Both of their fight. Dude, that's the first time you've ever seen anybody throwing Muay Thai clinch like nobody else's business.
Yeah.
We'll watch that fight, Anderson Silva and Rich Franklin. He had him in that plum, the Muay Thai plum, and just kept throwing that knee, nasty knee for a good minute, man. I was like, oh my God.
And there's nothing you could do. When somebody has that grip around your neck and they have that monkey grip where they could just take you wherever they want.
That's how
it almost feels helpless.
No, it's exactly how he had him. He just had him in that plum and just kept throwing that knee. You know, nasty knee.
Tearing them up.
What do you think?
About what?
Daniel Cormier and Stipe.
That's exciting, man. I think DC is going to take it.
Yeah?
I do. Not any disrespect to Stipe because I think he's fucking amazing.
He is.
But I feel like DC has to win.
Yeah.
Because DC lost to Jone Jones twice. He lost to Stipe once. He doesn't, I feel like for his legacy, he can't have 2 losses to 2 people.
Right.
If he's going to be one of the best,
right,
he has to get this one.
Yeah.
he has to. And then he could take the belt, and then after that, he could retire into the sunset if he wants.
Yeah.
But with that being said, who do you think is gonna? Do you think Ngannou is gonna get the fight after the Stipe DC?
Yeah, I think he's in the waiting list. You know,
He has to be.
Well, yeah, because he just won.
Yeah.
And you can't deny that guy, and that's gonna be a fucking fight. If DC wins and fights Ngannou, dude.
And DC is funny because while he was commentating that last fight with Joe Rogan, he was like, man, Ngannou could fight anybody else, just don't let it be me. I don't want to get hit by him. And then his whole tune changed up after he won. He was like, yeah, man, I'll fight him if I need to.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to get hit by Ngannou, but I feel like, see, the thing about people that can knock people out and throw them punches, DC's just going to close that gap, hand wrestle, get in a clinch, take him down just like how Stipe did, back in the day.
Right.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see if Ngannou could get to that top level, because he fought Stipe before and Stipe he outclassed him. But that was a long time ago. You could see, I feel like that was that last fight for Ngannou to say, okay, fuck this. I'm not going back to the bottom. I'm not going back home. I know how it is, growing up in a little hut.
Right.
I'm getting the fuck out.
Yeah,
he was a big ass, strong guy, but he had a little flab on him. You could see it in his face. If you look at his face during that fight, he's like puffy and kind of chunky. That dude is chiseled like a fucking somebody got a
Greek goddess, man.
Yeah, and just
Greek
chiseled
god.
his ass down. His chin is defined. His abs are ridiculous.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, I'm cutting out any issues, because the fight against Stipe, he just looked tired. Mm-hmm. Stipe literally picked his big ass up and slammed him like it wasn't shit. You shouldn't be able to do that against a guy that size.
Well, I think he just came off of a loss, a really bad loss to somebody. I think was it Curtis Blades or something that.
No, I think Ngannou beat Blades twice.
Oh, okay.
But I know you're talking about, because he had back-to-back losses. It was
Yeah.
Stipe and then one before that. I forget who it was.
But he's scary, man. I mean, you see it. He just hit the guys on the side of their head, and they get.
And then it's a wrap. Yeah.
Dude. It hurt me when I saw him fight Kane. Kane was my favorite, man. I loved watching Kane fight. And when he put it on Kane, I was like, dang. But I don't think Kane was ever 100% to fight. And man,
he just had so many fights.
Yeah, and he was a good champion too. I would have liked to see him fight with Daniel Cormier.
I was just gonna say they're teammates, yeah.
They are.
Yeah, that'd be really fun because they know each other.
Yeah, that would be fun though.
Yeah.
They're really good teammates. But that was something that was my fantasy.
Yeah.
Fights. See those two bad boys go.
All right. Speaking of fantasy fights, is there any other fights that you're like, come on, please make this happen?
Man,
for me personally, I want to see Masvidal and Conor.
That's a good one. That's
what I want to see next, because neither one of them are getting a title fight next.
Right.
You got Gaethje fighting Khabib, and then you got Usman fighting Burns. So what are those guys going to do in the meantime? Is Conor going to go another year without fighting? No, he needs to get a fight. The reason why Conor didn't get a title fight is because he's only fought like 3 times in the last 4 years. You don't deserve a title shot. You beat Cowboy, Cowboy is an historic UFC fighter, but come on. Cowboy is not in that caliber anymore.
Right.
So, matter of fact, Cowboy is not even ranked after the loss against Anthony Pettis.
Okay.
So Conor has to prove that he's a title guy. Yes, he could draw crowds. He has a great mouthpiece, back to what you're saying about Mayweather and drawing that crowd in. You hate me or you love me. Mm-hmm. Either way, you're going to watch me. Mm-hmm. I feel that, but I personally do not think Conor should get a rematch. A title fight. So Conor versus Masvidal, that will be whoever wins is like, oh shit, okay, they need to get a title fight. Because the knock on Conor is, like I said, he hasn't fought enough, and the knock on Masvidal is that he hasn't beat enough quality opponents for him to be in that title conversation.
Right.
I would love to watch them fight. Or Jone Jones and Ngannou. I would love to see that too. Because Jone Jones is going up to heavyweight. And man, I just don't see Jone Jones being able to fight somebody that much bigger than him. He's used to fighting at 205, and Ngannou's like 265. I don't really know what Jone Jones' walking around weight is, but I could see Jone Jones maybe being 230.
No, he can, man. I mean, that's a good fight. Honestly, Ngannou and Jone Jones or Daniel Cormier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jone Jones with Ngannou, I think Jone Jones will smash Ngannou. I
agree with you because of back to what I was saying earlier about him being able to throw his legs and his hands just as good. He could throw that front kick all day long to keep that distance, not let Ngannou get too close to knock him out.
That's what his key is, right? Is keeping that distance from Ngannou from getting hit.
Mm-hmm.
But if Ngannou touches you, you're sleeping.
Yeah.
And I don't think Jone Jones has ever been hit as hard by anybody as Ngannou. Ngannou, if he touches you, you're just sleeping. Don't get me wrong, his boxings are good, but he lunges a lot. He comes in and just throws that.
In that fight against Rosenstruck, his chin was up and he was just like,
comes in and just throws.
You're knocking me out, I'm knocking you out, but I'm not getting knocked out.
Right.
And he ended that fight in what, 15 seconds?
15 seconds. That's what his most recent fight, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, he just comes in and blazing. So you come in blazing like that with Jone Jones, he's gonna catch you.
Oh yeah. He's gonna catch you with a kick to the face, uppercut, maybe even make you miss and then close the gap with an elbow, engage you in the clinch. That's the thing about Jone Jones is that he's elite in everything.
Yeah.
So if I'm not saying Ngannou was a one-track fighter or a one-sided guy, a one-trick pony, but Jone Jones can kind of flip the script on anybody and do what they do better than them. So I'm excited for that. Do you think Jone Jones would deserve that fight after that last fight against Reyes?
Yeah, he's a champ.
So even though that is a controversial, quote unquote, win against Reyes, do you think that should be a rematch, or is it kind of like, oh, whatever, man, maybe later?
It was a close fight, man. You know what I mean? But they should run it back. When you have close fights like that, you got to run it back.
Yeah.
You got to run it back and see who really fights. Jone Jones always does really good on his rematches. He's won every fight.
Yeah. The one loss that he has is
Matt Hamill, which that doesn't count. That's
bullshit.
Some bullshit.
Yeah. So
clock elbow.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's fucking crazy. That's not the most strongest elbow anybody can throw. Is a downward elbow like that. It's something you want to come from the side. And
then scrape, cut.
Yeah, that's dangerous. That's just stupid to me. They shouldn't make that. They should scrap that fucking loss and turn it back into him as a win.
For sure.
Or at least a DQ or something. Not a loss.
I feel like if a 12-6 is illegal, why the fuck is an axe kick allowed? You take a heel to the top of your dome piece, isn't that just as bad or worse?
I guess they look at it as like not everybody can throw it.
But the ones who can and you can land it,
man.
It's lights out.
No, you're right. There's a lot of rules that they still gotta like.
It's still new. That's the thing with UFC. It's still a new sport. It's been around like 25 years, 28 years. That's new still to be in an elite major sports category with the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, hockey. So, yeah, they're going to figure it out.
I think the first thing they should change is the fucking judges.
More judges, less judges, what?
I say more judges with knowledge. Even if you can go less judges, at least a different rankings or
point system,
or you know,
because you can't be the same as boxing, because it's not the same as boxing.
10-point system. You know what I mean? Because you got involved with kicking, dominant position, positioning in you know, jiu-jitsu and wrestling. So it's 10
control
points not
time
enough.
and takedowns and all that good shit.
And plus the judges in there, 95% of them never had a training in their life.
Yeah, that's like if I would go in there and be a judge. Who the fuck am I? I feel like you should get previous fighters maybe.
Yeah,
to be judges.
previous fighter or like, you know, a fan
that knows it and has done it.
Yeah.
I feel like you gotta do it.
Yeah.
Because when you do it and you get that hands-on experience, that will give you the notion of how to judge.
Right. Or people who train, you know, in different aspects of martial arts, or, you know, around a lot of that. They see it. You know, they should test, you know, to be a judge, you know. I think they should be tested or trained at least, you know, before you start judging, because some of them even judge boxing. You know, so when they watch boxing and then they watch MMA, it's like, oh, that's two different things. You know what I mean? So I think they should be at least trained somewhat. You know, watch a video, or you know, have somebody train them. This is what this is. You know, this is a kimura. This is a top position. You know, this is dominant position. You know, just because somebody's on a bottom guard, you're in guard. You know, like a lot of guys love to fight guards. Like if you fight 10 planet guys, they're all about being in guard. They shoot into guard.
Yeah, I was gonna say some people that just pull guard.
Yeah.
How can you give a person that has ground control?
Yeah.
How can you give them points? Like if a person's on top of you and they're trying to do something and they can't do anything, and you just ripped off like 3 or 4 submission attempts, and you almost got them, who wins that round?
Exactly.
So yeah, I feel like you definitely have to do it, or you have to have a lot of knowledge, or at least train. You don't have to have fights or anything. In my opinion, just have knowledge of the sport. If you're refereeing or judging boxing, you should be excluded from MMA.
Yeah.
Just because you have that muscle memory of judging a specific type of sport, you shouldn't be able to go back and forth. And you know, that's just my opinion.
That's what I love. What I love about like all the sports right now that have old players, or you know, previous fighters commentating. You know, because when you watch it and you hear it commentating, you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty awesome, because you can understand their language.
I love
you train also. You know, you hear like Daniel or Joe Rogan even. You know, when they explain things, you're like, yeah, I get that. You know?
That's what makes Joe Rogan such a prolific commentator, is that he's been doing this for 30, 40 years, so he knows. You know, or another example is when I listen to Roy Jones Jr. commentate a fight, he knows. He's one of the greatest of all time, so he could pinpoint things that maybe me, the average fan, can't really see. So, yeah, man, if you could get experienced judges that have been in the octagon or been in the ring, and they know what to look for, what to expect, how to judge, and have a full grasp of the rule book and all of that stuff.
Or even commentators, you know, a lot. Some commentators know a lot of this shit. Like,
I love DC.
You know,
commentator. He's excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, he is. He's him. I like a lot of those guys. You know, Dominic Cruz. He's really good. You know, I just like the way they break things down. They draw that picture for you. You know. So maybe on their off days they can do judging, you know. I think that would be great.
And it would be a great way for former fighters to have some type of income coming in. That could be close to the sport, still feel that be in that atmosphere, feel that, you know, that rush. And they can still put some money in their pockets, because I know a lot of these fighters, man, they're not getting paid that much money. Everybody can't be Conor. Everybody can't be the champ. So the guys, the bottom feeders that are trying to make a name, they're not making too much money. Let them ref on the side, make a little bit of extra money, and then us fans and the fighters could get a better scoring system, better judges.
So speaking of money, right? You know more boxing than I do. So as a fighter going into boxing, right? You see Wilder, Furry, all those guys, they're making millions, right? So when do you come up to the point where you start making good money like that? Because I know, because in the UFC, right, a lot of fighters don't make good money still, even if they're fight night, they're making 50,000, 60,000, maybe 100,000 here and there, but they're not making good money. That's why a lot of people are complaining.
Yeah.
So what I'm asking you is, when do you, even as a pro fighter, do you start making good money?
Man, I wish I had the answer to that.
Oh, okay.
I wish I did. I feel like it's more of a how you sell yourself.
Okay.
You could be there's plenty of champs, especially in boxing. There's like 8 different fucking
weight classes.
So many weight classes, but so many. There's 8 different champs in one weight class. Because there's so many different organizations.
Right.
But I feel like if you sell yourself and you have a mouthpiece and you could get people to love you and hate you. Kobe Covington, for a perfect example.
Right.
People hate that motherfucker.
Right.
So everybody's gonna watch him because they want to see him get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
They're still watching.
Right.
That's when you start making your money, when you could draw the crowd in. You have to be able to sell yourself. Let your lips go, man. Use your words.
But what if some guys are not like that though, right?
Then they gotta be fucking
like
really
DJ,
good.
Demetrius Johnson. He doesn't talk a lot of shit. He's very humble, right? But god damn, he's the best.
So you mentioned earlier in the podcast that DJ wasn't making that much money. It's definitely not because of his experience or his skill, because he's obviously one of the GOATs. But he wasn't making the millions because maybe he wasn't talking as much.
I don't think he was. I think he was making good money. He was making millions. I don't think his issue was making money. I don't think his issue was ever with money, because he's never ever complained about money. I just the notoriety of DJ. Nobody. He wasn't like a big draw because he wasn't talking shit. You know what I mean? I think that's just what the problem was, is because DJ didn't bring that excitement to that weight class. Yeah. That's why
you got to be able to sell it.
Exactly, but that's not him. You know what I mean? He let his talking in his craft.
And you know what? That's why I love DJ, is because he did have a very successful career in the UFC, strictly based off his skill.
Yeah.
Come on, man. He was wrestling and throwing people on his shoulder and just slamming them. He was doing like Matt Hughes type shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, it's great. It's super entertaining. It's like WWE and UFC.
Up until you get to the ring and you really get punched in the face.
Exactly.
Yep.
But it's just a lot of guys, like, that's why people ask, oh, why did you try to fight? And I'm like, I know one of my really good friends, buddy of mine, Kwong, in Hawaii, he used to fight. You just get so injured, and by the time you get to pro, it's like, man, you're just so beat up and you're not getting paid. I own my own business now, so it's like, I don't want to get punched in the face.
Exactly.
I'm good. I train.
As much as being a professional fighter sounds good.
Yeah, it's kind
of man. Getting punched, like you said, with the injuries and stuff. I forgot who it was, but they were like, I've had 11 knee surgeries on the same leg in my career.
Yeah.
Do I really want to go through that?
Yeah.
Do I want to get punched in the face for a living? Because it's not like, oh man, you fight twice a year, you get punched in the face twice a year. No, they get punched in the face every single day that they train.
Training.
And not just getting punched in the face, you're getting hit in the body, you're getting in fucking heel hooks and arm bars and all this shit, and wearing down your joints and your shoulders and your knees and everything. It hurts.
So even with right now, I don't fight, right? I'm just training, and I'm recovering right now. My muscle, like, I pull my back muscle, right? And it's hard, man. You try to recover, but every time you go to class, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna roll. This is when you're in that atmosphere with all these sharks, you're like, fuck this, and you just never recover. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to not go to class, and everybody's like, this fucking guy. But my gym, those guys are really nice. They're like almost like, man, I consider them like kind of like family. I got to know a lot of these guys, especially my coach. shout out to Coach Casey.
Coach Casey, what gym?
I've tried. Russell and Fort Apache.
Check him out, man. Hearing nothing but good things from Coach Casey.
Yeah, no, seriously, he's, I've trained with other coaches before, but Coach Casey, he's really like, takes his time, make sure you understand what the movements are, and he's just goofy too, man. And he's funny, he's fun to be around.
Yeah, he's not a robot. He's still a guy with personality. Just because he likes to choke people out for a living doesn't make him any less funny or less important.
I see that passion in him too also, when he teaches and stuff like that. So I like that, I like going to class. And, training is hard. Like, people don't understand is when you're in there training with guys who want to also take your head off because they want to come up, or they're just rough because they want the best for you, and then you go fight. A lot of fighters say the hardest part of fighting is training. They say when they get into the octagon, that's the fun part for them.
Exactly.
The training is the hardest part. You've trained with me, we go hard all the time, and that's just with weights and just regular training, and
when you throw and getting, punched in the face, punched in the body, smothered,
putting all that together, right?
Or just have somebody big as shit laying on top of you.
Yep. So
if you don't love working out, I just had my cousins on the podcast yesterday. If you don't love the grind, you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna enjoy it because it sucks. It sucks. Whether you love it or you hate it, it sucks. When you wake up tomorrow and you can't walk, yeah, you may love being sore, but you still can't walk.
Fuck that. I don't love being sore.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
Yeah. I wish we all could. And it doesn't even matter if you roll out, if you stretch, if you do yoga afterwards. If you're sore, you're sore. I was just wrestling with my cousin the other day, and he choked me out a couple times. And my fucking neck, was sore as shit for a couple days. Could it turn my neck? I was moving like a robot kind of. So you have to love it. You have to love the process, enjoy the process, enjoy getting better.
Yeah.
And I like that. And not just fighting or training or working out, but in all aspects of life. Exactly. I love learning and just growing as a person.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, you inspired me. I've been thinking about getting back in and train for a long time. Really want to do kickboxing or jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai. Those are like my three that I really, really want to do. COVID is kind of making shit weird. I don't really know where to go or how it's going to be right now, but you inspire me, man. I want to get back in there.
No, man, I love working out with you, When we were working out together, it was good, I usually don't have workout partners.
Everybody quits.
Yeah, everybody quits, or it's just, I like to go solo because I know when I get up, I lace my boots, or not my boots, but my shoes. My wife was like, man, you love this. Because when I met my wife, right, she never worked. She doesn't work out. She goes running. She does a lot of running. She's never gone to the gym because she didn't like the gym. And I understand that. It's not for everybody. But she always asks me, she's like, you just love it. What makes you love it so much? I'm like, every time I put on my shoes, I'm like, I know it's gonna go down. It's like as soon as I put on my shoes, I got dressed for a reason. I got up and I'm like, I'm getting this shit done.
Yeah, you're just not gonna half-ass it either. No. If you're gonna lace up your shoes and make that drive, you're gonna get your money's worth and your time's worth.
And every time I work out, I fucking go ham. You know that. I don't fuck around. Once I pick up that fucking barbell or that whatever I'm picking up, it's going down.
Yep.
There's times when me and you work out, we both like, oh fuck, I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, I can't even go the sled workouts. I miss it, man.
Yeah, man, that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love for you to come down. Come down to our gym. Give it a try. You might love it.
Yeah, I'll talk to you after we're done recording about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because I am excited, man, and I'm looking for a gym right now. There's a gym right around the corner that my brother and I were talking about potentially checking out, but we don't want to just go to any gym. We don't want to go learn from, fucking David a guy that did MMA for 6 months and now he has a gym because he loves it. I want a guy that has some type of credentials, knows what he's doing, and loves this sport.
Right.
Because that's the people I like to learn from.
Okay.
I like to feel that environment and that atmosphere and just that comfort too. There's nothing worse than going into a gym and everybody's just eyeing you down like, I'm gonna fuck this guy up.
Yeah.
I remember going into, don't mean to cut you off, but I remember going into Johnny Tacos as a kid, you know, when I was younger. As soon as you walk in there, everybody's like, oh, I'm fucking him up.
Yeah.
I didn't like that feeling, but it built this
character,
this defense that I was like, all right, you have to be ready to throw them fucking hands at all times.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter who, like Johnny Tacos is such a iconic gym here in Vegas that there's no telling who you're gonna see in there.
Yeah.
You see professional fighters every single time you go in there. So it's like, okay, who am I getting in the ring with today? You never know.
Right.
But I like to go in the gym and people are friendly. Hey man, nice to meet you. I'm gonna kick your ass later. Okay, cool. Thanks for introducing yourself. That's the place I want to be in.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
That's why I loved the gym that I'm at right now. I swear. It's so before I met Coach Casey and tried, right? I've been looking around all over the place for the right gym. You know, I've met some guys that go in there, I talk to them, I look around, I look at the gym. You know, I see the way I sit there and I watch the way they train. Just